Good evening. Is nobody here?
A little bit closer?
No, yeah, I know. I have the habit of not wanting to be close to the mic. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So congratulations to Anne on her story, because I have a similar kind of story. I appreciate her warming me up for that. So when I was in high school, I hung out with all the cool kids, only because I wasn't one, and I wanted to be one. And we were performing the musical for the annual concert at the school, at high school. So we were going to be on the big stage, and it was a few minutes before what I call post time. We were getting ready, and we were all the way upstairs on the third floor of the school, making trouble that I don't remember what it was, but it couldn't have been good. And then we got summoned because it was our time to get there, and we're running. Everybody's running. And I ran from the third floor down 3 flights of stairs to the auditorium with no cane, no guide dog, no nothing. I just did it based on how I remembered where everything was. I take this everywhere now, by the way, because I can't let that happen again, because I was so in a hurry that I jumped down an entire flight of stairs thinking I could land on my feet, spring back up and grab the railing and go down another one. That's how I was going to go down 13 steps. Well, I jumped to go down the stairs, and because I'm blind, I didn't know that there was a stairway above me. And I hit the stairs above me right here, and I hung my head. I thought it was for an hour, but it was like for a split second, on a rivet. And I dropped down to the bottom of the stairs, and I was going like, excuse my French, oh, shit! And I put all the pressure on my head that I possibly could. And then I let go. My hand was sticky, and I kept running to get to the auditorium. I get to the backstage door. I run to the stairs. I climb up the 5 stairs on the stage. I'm waiting in the wings. I get introduced. I come out on the stage, and I'm like a spouting whale. Blood shooting straight out, projectile blood, like a fountain. And it's beating like my heart. As my heart's beating, it's going bloop, bloop, bloop. And the whole audience screamed. And I'm like, what are they screaming? I didn't even start. And then somebody yelled out, "You're bleeding." And I put my hand back to my head, which I knew I injured. And I said, oh, yeah, this isn't good. And I got faint. And then I just kind of wobbled my way to the side. And I went off the stage. I was taken to White Cough Hospital. Anybody ever hear of White Cough Hospital? I'm glad to hear that. You're very lucky. It's the only hospital I ever went to that the rats and the cockroaches are coming out while you're going in. It was the most disgusting place I ever been. And my father insisted I had to be treated. And I'm like, I got to do something to get my father to change his tune. We left there, went to a real hospital, and they stitched me up. When I was in college, I was, once again, running around, thinking I was invincible, and somebody hit me and made me chase them. So I got up and ran after them to chase them. And I went to the University of Albany. And the reason why I bring it up is because anybody who's been to a government building, or certainly the university itself, you know that the doors are all made of steel, and they're like 300 pounds sitting on hinges. And they swing open like a heavy door, but you don't know how heavy they really are until you take one off. Well, I ran after this guy. I wanted to really get him, and I was a very fast runner, except when things get in the way, I can't run too fast. And the door was left ajar. Now, I do not understand to this day how a door can become ajar, but I always thought it was a door. and I smashed my head, full steam running, right here. Same spot. Did this, sticky hand. I got to get the son of a bitch. I ran. I kept running to get him. I had blood-covered clothes, blood on the carpets of the university, in the dormitory. I actually hurt myself more on that one than I did at the high school. And the guy who I was chasing grabbed me, threw me in his car, and took me to the hospital. The first set of stitches that I had when I had that ding from high school was 8. The second set of stitches that I had were 14. So I sort of doubled my fun. And then when I was an adult, I'm sorry, I'm not good with this mic. When I was an adult, believe it, this story is, gotta love this. I was an adult and I got into a argument with a friend over a game. We were playing trivia. And I answered a question, I knew the answer was right, and he said it was wrong, and we had an argument. And I chased him, and in my house, in my 3-bedroom flat in Albany, on Ontario Street. And he was fast, and he ran, and he hid, and he spun around the kitchen table, and he went back out toward the living room. And there are 2 columns in my living room, between the dining room and the living room, big columns up to the ceiling, and it was like a 10-foot ceiling. And on each of the columns, there is a joint where 2 pieces of wall come together into a point. And I missed the turn that I had to make to get him in the living room, and I turned right into the pillar. And I hit the point of the wall where 2 walls come together, right here. I'm not kidding. 26 stitches. And I didn't bleed, which is the weirdest thing. But went to the hospital, they stitched me up. I came home, and I finally got upset for the first time about the fact that I was gonna have one hell of a scar between my eyes. And the truth is, to this day, not one single person in my life has ever made a comment about that scar. I have no idea what it looks like, but I've had 54 stitches in that same spot over 3 times. And I guess the moral of the story is, even banging my head 3 times couldn't make me any better looking. So nobody was going to make a comment about my scar. Thank you.